This video is made in collaboration with the channel Second Thought. For more anti-capitalist content, please subscribe to their channel through the link in the description box below. Hi, my name is Aaron, this is my show Re-Education, and today we're going to talk a little bit about mutual aid and basically where to start. And to do that, a couple of comrades and myself have worked together on the top 5 ways that you can work on starting mutual aid in your hometown. Now you're probably asking yourself, Aaron, why top 5? And it's because the YouTube algorithms force us to put numbers inside of our content or else we don't get any views. Needless to say, let's start with number 1. Number one. Step 1 is finding out what you personally are passionate about. You're probably not going to get very invested or engaged in something if it's not something you're interested in. So you really have to do a deep dive inside of yourself and find out what exactly you want to do, what your skill set is, how exactly you think you can contribute to your community. All of those things are integral to finding out exactly what it is that you want to do in that community. Finding your place, really. Now, this might be a really hard thing to do. When you sit down and you try to think to yourself, what exactly am I good at? What could I possibly contribute? Sometimes you draw a blank. I know that I personally do. So usually what I like to think about is what first motivated me to take action. Now, honestly, this could be anything from climate change to food insecurity to poverty to unemployment. All of these different factors are things that you feel strongly about, deeply about, and one of these things are going to end up being the primary motivational tool that gets you out there doing the thing that you want to do, fixing problems. Now, the things that motivate you to take action may very well be the same things that affect you in your real life. Have you ever been poor? Have you ever struggled to pay your rent? Have you ever been hungry and had to choose between buying groceries or paying your phone bill? All of these things are problems that you may have had that would motivate you to get out there and do something about the world. And also, you can think about whatever you've gotten an education or a good understanding about. It could be something that you went to school for, or maybe a hobby that you have dedicated hours and hours and hours into. All of these things are great ways to find out what exactly is motivating you and what's making you the most passionate and getting you active and wanting to go out and do mutual aid. Now, I personally really enjoy video editing and blathering on and on in front of a camera. My skill set happens to be in that area, so that's why any work that I do tends to usually be through a visual medium like YouTube or other things like that. You might be completely different. You might be great in crowds and be able to organize people together and get them to do amazing things. Or you might be the complete opposite of that and be a complete introvert and really thrive when you're able to do something like organizing things online or drawing posters. All of these things are great to keep in mind when you're trying to find out exactly what your place could be and what you're passionate about and what motivates you. Number 2. Step 2 is basically finding out what are your local problems. There are a lot of problems within the world, and typically, wherever you live, there are going to be a specific set of them. I'm not exactly sure what that could be, but depending on where you live, it could be anything from poverty to food insecurity to not being able to pay the rent or bills or whatever. Maybe a lot of people in your area are incarcerated. All of these things are really good to take into consideration when you're trying to find out what exactly those passions that you have can be used towards. Like finding the right piece to a puzzle, you need to be able to fit yourself into something that you are able to do. And if the problems within the community happen to focus on some sort of area that you might have an expertise in, all the better. But if it doesn't, which it might not, then you're going to have to tailor some of your skill set to adapt to such a thing, and work with your community to find more people that can fill other roles that you personally can't. The number 1 most important thing to think about in this step is to never punch above your weight. Never take on projects that are too big for you to accomplish, because a major factor in all of this is burnout. If you're taking on projects that are too large for you, you're not going to finish them. And if you don't finish a project, you're not going to feel as though you've actually accomplished anything. So to stem burnout, to stay away from losing all motivation, you want to take things slow and start small. Start with things that you know that you can accomplish and then work upwards from there. You're not going to do anybody any good if you're too burned out to do anything at all. So number 2 obviously works into number 1 very seamlessly. Now we're going to jump into number 3. Step 3 is learning the basics so you can learn the solutions. It's really good that you can come up with solutions on your own, but it's even better if you can do a little bit of research and find out if those solutions have already been found long before you ever started looking. Now, you don't have to become a bookworm or read 1,000 novels just so you can find out exactly where your place in the world is. You only have to read a few things, but you want to get a basic understanding of the ways that you want to solve problems, because it's going to make your life and everyone else's lives a whole lot easier if you have already a direction and a path to go down, and if you've already seen how a lot of those things work out, what went wrong, what went right, and how you can build on that. So you're going to want to read and familiarize yourself with a lot of basic concepts. It's not going to take very long, and in fact, I even have a short reading list of things that you can easily get through in a day or two. Having the basic understanding of all of these different ideas allows you to go to your community with real solutions right off the bat. You can pull them out of your back pocket and submit them right to them. And it's a lot better when you do that because it really shows that you understand what you're talking about and you know how to fix the problem. It's all about preparation. Mise en place, my guy. Mise en place. If you're a chef, you know exactly what I mean. Now, step 4 is talking to your community. You can't do any of this if you haven't actually reached out to the people within the community that you're trying to help. It's kind of one of the most important things. Everything up until this point has basically been the groundwork stage. It's where you're building everything up so you can actually achieve something later on. And once you get to this point, you hopefully have already discovered what you're passionate about, found out at least what some of the problems are, and worked to find out what some of the solutions could be. But you can't really know the full scope of any problem without finding out all of the information. And who knows better about what is the problem within a local community than the local members of that community. So you have to reach out to them and find out what they're dealing with. What are their struggles? What are the things that they have to worry about on a day-to-day basis? This is when you have to build your local connections and network. You want to talk to your neighbors, talk to your family, talk to your friends, talk to your coworkers, talk to your colleagues. I talk about this all the time, but it's the most important thing. You have to start talking to people because without communication, without having that association with one another, you're never going to convince these people that you actually have any sort of ideas or plans at all. They're just going to look at you like you're some kind of crazy socialist kook. Don't do that. Make them think that you're normal. Don't be a weirdo. Go do things with the community. Go to football games. Go to community events. And let people know that you have good intentions. There's a good chance that your next door neighbor might need you for something. If you know how to fix a sink, maybe you can fix their sink. And while you're there, maybe you can talk to them about some of your radical socialist ideas and change their mind on a few things. That's what all of this is about. Education and helping one another so we can all have a better world together. Now we're going to jump to number 5 in just a second, but before we do, I want to take a minute to thank our sponsor, the Anarchy Box. Now, I've been seeing a lot of different YouTubers over the course of the last couple of months coming out with their own special boxes. Really great big YouTubers like Jazza and Action Lab have all come out with their own boxes. Sometimes it's an art box or maybe a science box, and it has all of these different things in it to help you be a better artist or a better scientist. And I think that's really cool, so I decided to come out with my own box. It's known as the Anarchy Box. Now, as you can see, it comes in a delightful shade of brown. And now you're probably wondering to yourself, Aaron, what's inside of this box? How can this help me? And I'm going to let you know that, there's nothing inside the box. Because I'm not going to tell you what to put inside of your box. This is an anarchist box. I'm not here to tell you what you need inside your own box. You know better than anyone else what to put inside of your box. That's right, liberty, freedom, security, democracy, all inside of one box if you wish to put it in there. Like I said, it's non-coercive. We want to make this as anarchistic as possible. Now you're probably wondering to yourself, Aaron, where do I get such a wonderful box? And I would have to say, the very first step would be to go to patreon.com/deadheadanimation and donate to my Patreon. Now, that won't help you at all to get the box, because I personally don't even supply you with a box. If you want a box, you could probably go to a liquor store or something. They tend to always have a lot of extra boxes in case somebody needs to get one to move. I personally got this box from a garbage can behind a Staples. I crossed out the Staples logo, so we wouldn't be promoting anything that we don't want to be promoting here. The box getting is completely decentralized, and when we do it this way, it's perfect. You see, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary people, because when we do it this way, you can get any size box that you want. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. Go to patreon.com/deadheadanimation to donate and get your own box today. With all that being said, let's get back to the video. Very, very serious sponsor. Anyway, step 5 is working with your community to achieve those goals. Now, up until this point, you've been networking, you've been working towards a solution, you've been researching all of the information you need to find those solutions. Now it's all about putting all of that together, putting all of those puzzle pieces together, and working with your neighborhood or with your community to actually put those solutions into practice. Now, you can do that in a lot of different ways, and I have other videos that I will link, again, in the description box below, and probably a card somewhere up here, hopefully if I remember. But what you are going to do specifically is going to depend very much on your material conditions. You're going to have to put in a little bit of legwork to find out exactly what you need to do, but once you get to this point, step 5, hopefully you already know what to do, and now it's just about working towards making it a real thing. So get with your community, start talking to them. More heads are better than one. Find out exactly what those solutions are. Find ways to implement those solutions. That can be done in a lot of different ways. If food insecurity is something that your community is dealing with, then maybe putting in a free store or a community fridge can help that situation. If rent is a big problem with a lot of the people that are in your community, maybe getting together and forming tenants organizations or tenants unions is something that you need to do. You can also form solidarity organizations that can pool a bunch of money together that can help people out in case they have medical emergencies or a death in the family or some sort of thing like that. All of these are communal, socialistic solutions to the problems that we happen to face every day in this capitalistic hellscape. And once you've talked to these people, once you've started to build those connections and started to find like-minded individuals like yourself that want to actually work towards making the world a better place, then you start forming groups. You start making formal alliances and working to implement a real plan. You work together to find out what that plan is, and then you work together to implement it. From the people, for the people, by the people, you the people. Anyway, that's my show. My name is Aaron. Thank you very much for watching. And again, I really want to thank the Second Thought channel, JT, for giving me a shout out and letting me work with him on this project. They have been absolutely fantastic to work with, so thank you so much. And thank all of you for watching this video. If you do get a chance, check out all the links in the description box below. And before we go, I want to spread this out a little bit. I want to share the wealth a little bit. So with everybody that's showing up from the Second Thought channel, it's great if you hit the subscribe button on my channel, but also check out all of the different channels that I have linked in the pinned comment at the top of the comment section in this video. Every single one of these people, you should subscribe to them as well. Just like any other industry, we stand on the shoulders of the people who came before us and did all of the groundwork to allow us to be able to do the things that we do today. So check them all out. Thank you very much for watching. And also, please donate to my Patreon. Every dollar helps fund this show. Check out my merch store because I got a lot of awesome anarchist merch. I'm probably showing pictures of it right now. Ooh, that's a cool shirt. Hey, that's a cool one too. And with all of that being said, thank you very much for watching. My name is Aaron. Have a nice day.